2 weeks from the Republican National Convention, and the RNC Rules Committee has ruled on the case of the Oklahoma Republican delegates who say the state GOP broke their own rules. So what did the Rules Committee decide? In our Commitment to Balance News, Ben has the reality check you won't see anywhere else.
The case the RNC Rules Committee heard was very simple. Back on May 12th, when the Republican Party of Oklahoma held its state convention, there were all kinds of problems. But the biggest problem came at the end of the night. That's when state delegates were supposed to elect national delegates to go to the Republican National Convention. But the Republican leadership didn't like the way the votes were going, and so they did not call for a roll call vote, which is stated in the rules of the Oklahoma Republican Party. Instead, they called for a voice vote and had people stand. Because they attempted to end the convention early, a separate convention was held outside in the parking lot. Well, as of today, 13 delegates have contested the outcome of that state convention, and they submitted a simple 3-page complaint to the RNC Rules Committee. Their argument, again, was pretty simple, that the party rules were not followed, and therefore the 25 delegates and 25 alternates should not be seated at the Republican National Convention in Tampa. This week, the RNC Rules Committee came to a decision on that complaint. Kadosha Fish is one of those contesting the outcome.
This issue is so easy for anyone. Anyone can understand it. You know, it's not hard to understand. The election of delegates at large and alternates at large shall be by roll call vote. I mean, that's as plain of English as you can get.
So what happened? In a 4-page response, the Rules Committee decided, number 1, that state party rules require that a roll call vote be taken. 2, that state party rules do not allow a voice vote and standing vote only. Number 3, that state party rules trump the convention rules. But then they ruled that the voice vote and the standing vote were good enough to elect delegates. And 2, that there's no reason to believe that if a roll call vote had been taken, the end result would be any different. You see, Fish and the other delegates say this isn't even about overturning the end result. It's about a fair process.
Why have rules if you're not going to follow them? You know, because if you have rules and you don't follow them, you make yourself look like a total idiot. And, you know, why would someone want to be involved in a party that doesn't want to follow their own rules?
So what you need to know is that in the Oklahoma case, the RNC Rules Committee decided that while the state party did not follow its own rules, the RNC wasn't going to require them to follow them. On the other hand, the Rules Committee also just ruled on the delegates from Maine. We've told you that the entire delegation is being challenged by the Romney campaign. But the end result there, the RNC Rules Committee just decided that the Romney campaign has no grounds to contest those delegates, and yet the RNC Rules Committee changed their own rules so they wouldn't have to officially rule on the issue, instead leaving it open for a second challenge from the Romney folks. So the issue here, is it any wonder that the RNC Rules Committee wouldn't enforce rules on the states like Oklahoma? The RNC Rules Committee won't even follow its own rules. And that is Reality Check.
So what do you think? If you'd like to make your voice heard on this story, you can head over to Ben's Facebook page. You can find it by searching Ben Swan, WXIX.